Blarla. Hello peeps and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Welcome to Looop Isle. What is Looop Isle? I hear you peeps asking. The clothing brand H&M have a new loop machine, which we'll talk about a little more later. Amongst all the things they have been doing for their real-world loop machine, they were very excited about having an Animal Crossing New Horizons island, themed all around sustainability and their new loop machine. And somehow, little old me Blarla got the job to build the island. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you on a tour of Looop Isle while talking about some of the creative processes I went through to make it, how I got to meet Game of Thrones' Maisie Williams, who is the H&M Sustainability Ambassador, share some of the numbers that was involved in building this island, to how many times I landscaped a piece of land, to how many flowers there are, along with celebrating other members of the team that helped me put the island together and other streamers and content creators that have covered the island since launch, including their fashion shows and their own loop machine designs. Has been amazing. It seemed only fitting that with everything that's been going on, I should dress quite nice. I've put on a lovely purple spangly dress, as you can see here. I've got a lovely sash on, really taking advantage of the new prom items. I wanted to look my best while we go on a beautiful tour of this island. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to build the island as my character Blarla because, of course, as we all know, we can only have one island per console. So, I'd like you all to welcome Pascal. Hello, Pascal. Wave to everybody, Pascal. Can we do this? Wave. There we go. I'm currently controlling two consoles. Only one character can move at a time. Pascal is the head of sustainability at H&M, and we were very keen to have him represent the island. So I created a little version of Pascal, and I have built the entire island with this character. Although Pascal, as lovely as he is, doesn't know a lot of DIY recipes, so Blarla's been here quite a lot to help build many of the items that we see around the island. So yeah, it's been a joint effort between the two of us. It definitely has. So the first big question is, how on earth did me, Blarla, tiny little YouTuber, get to build this incredible island? Back in December of 2020, I was contacted by a dear friend of mine. Some of you may even recognise her, Lauren Carter. Lauren Carter was the community manager at 2 Point Studios during the release of 2 Point Hospital. So over the course of 2 Point Hospital's development, launch, and the time after release, I had quite a lot of contact with Lauren. We even did streams together, which was amazing fun. And a friendship bloomed. Ultimately, the contract to build the island ended up with a company called Liquid Crimson, and my good friend Lauren Carter has been working with Liquid Crimson. So when she contacted me a day or two before Christmas Eve asking if I would like to build an island in Animal Crossing for a job, I said yes without hesitation, because when somebody says, "Would you like to play Animal Crossing as a job?" you say yes. Surely you say yes. So I was quickly contracted by Liquid Crimson to build Looop Isle. In January, I got to find out all of the deets, and I got working on it. Once I had a list of things that H&M wanted on the island, it was my task to design what Looop Isle would end up looking like. I had complete creative control over this, with some very minor requests, which we'll cover during the tour. Now, while I can't show you an image of my design prior to building the island due to content restrictions, I can tell you that this Looop Isle map looks exactly like the one I designed before I actually built it. But that was part of the process. I completely designed the island in a design program before I actually built the island. To design the island, I really did draw on the inspiration of the source material, the loop machine. So let's talk about the loop machine for a minute. The loop machine is a real-world contraption, I'm going to say, that quite literally recycles clothes. You can take old garments, feed it into the machine, it breaks down the garments, and using very little virgin material will then produce a new item of clothing at the other end. And I believe this machine can do various different clothing items. It's almost like a 3D printer for clothes. I believe the idea of the name Loop is because we are closing the loop of recycling, using old clothes to make new clothes in order to help reduce waste, which I think is an absolutely fantastic idea, and I really wanted to try and incorporate this into the island design. Looking at the map, you can see there are little loops all over the island, as I wanted the theme of loop constantly repeated. But I also designed the entire tour that you can take around Looop Isle in one massive circle. And each part of the loop represents a different aspect of sustainability. Now, I should mention before we go any further that purple is the branding colour, if you like, of the loop machine. Hence, this island is incredibly purple and I'm dressed in purple. It's probably worth me mentioning that. The town part of the island very much focuses on sustainable energy, something that we can do on a much larger scale. And Animal Crossing is fantastic for renewable energies, right? They've got the wind powers and also the solar panels, of which we have many solar panels along the back here. These solar panels were all donated by the glorious Lauren Carter, as she is also an avid Animal Crossing player. and she had lots of Nook Mile points, and she had also the right type of solar panels, because of course that's the thing, right? We have to get the right colours of things. It was the same with the wind turbines. We wanted the red and white wind turbines, so it was a matter of which members of the team had those. So the wind turbines have actually been donated by various different people. Now, for some reason, I designed the tour to go anti-clockwise. So we actually start here. Here it is, Able Sisters, as you can imagine, being quite an important building for such an island. But also here is my Animal Crossing version of the Loop machine. Now, if you just take a look at the Loop machine for a moment, imagine being asked to recreate that machine in Animal Crossing. It's the most daunting task I think I've ever had. There have been many iterations of this machine in-game, I can tell you that much. And this is what we ended up with. It looks weird, but I'm hoping in relation to the actual machine, you can kind of see what I was going for. The light panels in the background I've used to help disguise aspect of the machine here. And this being, I think, this bit here, I think is probably one of the most recognisable parts of the machine. So we've put that here at the front. And the idea is that we've got spools of thread working across the top of the machine there, and across these like windows here, and we can see the thread moving around inside. And you can hear the machines making noise, because essentially I have filled it with sewing machines. So there it is. That's what we ended up with. Wow, I tell you, that was a stressful few days building this thing. Yeah. And we also had a professional pixel artist on the team as well that helped me put all these graphics together. His name is Jason, and he actually used Photoshop to create the 32 by 32-bit images. He sent them over to me, and then I would recreate them in the game, and that's how we ended up with these. Although I created these signs, so it was for the more tricky stuff. I did the H&M logo, but he did these red images here as well. Yeah, we were very keen for players and influencers to be able to loop their own Animal Crossing unwanted items. So we built this area here for people to come along and drop off Animal Crossing garments they no longer wanted, so that we could then feed it into the machine, and then they could go into Able Sisters. In Able Sisters, you can pick up the outfit that Maisie Williams was wearing in the campaign video. We have two versions. We have a dress version and a t-shirt version, which goes quite nicely with trousers and is the version that Maisie Williams chose and wore when she was here on this very island playing with influencers, which was a fun day. The little purple scarf around the neck is a special scarf that H&M made out of sustainable material, and it has Maisie Williams' signature and stuff on it, which is pretty cool, and they were very keen for us to have it on our item in Animal Crossing. Scarves, not easy to do in Animal Crossing. But we gave it our best shot, or I certainly did. While the intricate shading was designed by Jason, I did do the little purple scarf around the neck. So joint effort. Now there is a little sneaky pipe hidden here for a little secret, which we'll go and have a look at later on. For now, we're going to carry on along this little path here to the edge of town, where we have Loop Manor. Yes. I've made it all lovely and purple. Everything on this island is purple, including, in fact, the animals. I took quite a lot of time choosing purple animals to come and live on Looop Isle. It took a lot of work. That's many hours of work you see here. Except Punchy, of course. He is just my absolute favourite. And if I make any more islands, he will be on them also. He's like my signature animal, right? If I made the island, Punchy's on it. Them's the rules. Anyway, now I've had a nice rant about Punchy. Let's go inside Loop Manor. Here it is. This is the H&M offices. They were very keen to have some H&M offices. I've never seen the H&M offices. I have no idea what they look like. So this is just my interpretation of what they might or could look like. Who knows? So this corner office actually is the corner office of the CEO of H&M, Helena. She did express that she enjoys the sea blue colours with whites, enjoys sort of the minimalist look. So I gave her a little office to try and cater to those things. I hope she likes it. I actually have absolutely no idea. I hope she does. But the rest of the area is just the normal H&M offices. Look, we've gone for nice red chairs, as you can imagine. We're pretending these are Apple Macs laptops, and I'm particularly fond of the little H&M mug. I'm really pleased with that. Yeah, pretty pleased with that. I think that mug is looking pretty slick. I think it might be one of the best items on the island. Yep, pretty sure. We got a little breakout area here, a little fridge should you want to get changed. It's a very weird aspect of Animal Crossing. Why is it that we get changed in the fridge? And then on the walls we have these modelling pictures. Now again, these modelling pictures were done by our very talented Jason. However, we were actually given 4 pictures by H&M to recreate in-game. And when I saw these images, I just thought, I have no idea. How on earth do you turn those into tiny little 32 by 32 images for Animal Crossing? I just thought, that's it. We can't do this. But sure enough, Jason absolutely knocked it out of the park. Look at them. The pictures compared to it's absolutely incredible. How has he done that? They look so good. They look so much like the original pictures. Isn't it incredible? And then I just had to copy them into game. I really had an easy task with that. Like that was proper easy, right? Proper easy. Yeah, absolutely. And the little recycling logo was made in-game by our producer, Taya, who's an absolute star. I love Taya. She was amazing to work with. It's the first time I'd ever met, spoken to, known, worked with, but she was absolutely incredible. And she made this recycling sign in Animal Crossing for us, which was absolutely great. So that was another load off my shoulders, like making a recycling sign in Animal Crossing. So yeah, I was really impressed with these images. Now you'll note that this room at the back here is blocked off. This is sort of like a coming soon section. We've left areas of the island empty so that they can be developed later on, should H&M ever want us to do that. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but we do have a room back here for that. Now it's not empty, and I'd love to show you what it looks like, but I can't. However, I can tell you that is basically where Pascal lives. He has a little H&M bed back there. He lives mostly out of boxes. He has holy socks. He has beautiful pressed blue pajamas. And he also has his crafting bench back there as well. So he has a few bits back there, a couple of magazines and whatnot. I wish I could show you, but I can't, and I'm sorry. What's behind that blockage? Well, that's a secret, and we'll get to it later. Oh my goodness, this lamp is really bright, shining a light right in my eye. Oh my god, this sort of blinds you before you go into this room. So this is one of my favourite rooms in the house because it's one of those craft type rooms. I enjoy crafty rooms in Animal Crossing. This is an innovation lab where Pascal can work on innovation designs. Yeah, more sustainable ideas for fashion. Do you know, they're doing something with cactus material. Yeah, they're using cactus to make leathers now and stuff. It's really incredible. I made these spools of fabric for the wall. It's actually one I created myself. I was really pleased with it. It actually got quite a lot of compliments from people that visited the island as well. So pretty pleased about that. My little spools. But yeah, we've got again the H&M mug because it's absolutely awesome. The sewing machine's been switched off. That sewing machine used to. There we go. Somebody turned it off. How disastrous. We have a little changing room here and stacked fabrics, and this is one of my favourite items in game. I enjoy embroidery in real life, so I really like the little sewing box in Animal Crossing. Oh my god, I love it so much. And this wooden one is my favourite one, so I had to put it in because it's the best. It's the absolute best. And I love these little kits here as well. Look at them. I love them. Animal Crossing is the best. Again, we've put the pictures around. We've also got some mystery clothing items here as well, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so this is our little innovation lab. I was really pleased with this. I thought it came out pretty well. I had to do some research on the internet. I was like, what on earth is an innovation lab? So I went on to Google and I researched fashion innovation lab, found some pictures, and then basically tried to copy them. Yep, that's what I was doing. Because I really wasn't sure. I've never been in one. I'd never seen one before. But this is it. This is from my Googlings. This is what I was able to put together. Yeah. Now, the basement of Loop Manor has seen probably the most action. Let's check it out. It's a catwalk. With bubblegum playing because we love bubblegum. Oh my god, here we go. Right. Let's do this. Yes. Oh yeah. I had a lot of fun making this room, particularly actually the backstage area. I put quite a lot of time into this backstage area. Look, we have little mirrors with lights around them, and I put the accessories things in. We have like the fancy velvet stools. I thought the lighting and these lamps back here were just really perfect lighting for the area. And also, of course, nail varnishes, because as you know, nail varnish is some of my favourite stuff. I love painting my nails. You know, sometimes I'm just really girly and I can't help it. Yeah, and I love the way that these spotlights just shined on the H&M logo. I just thought that worked out really, really well. So we've had a lot of fun in this room during launch. We had some streamers come here and do some fashion shows, and they were a huge success and absolute fun to take part of. I'm actually going to have links in the description below of some of the streams and videos that content creators have made, including the fashion shows, because they have to be seen to believed and enjoyed. They were... But I had so much fun being a part of them. On the back wall, we actually have sort of more of a showroom aspect. You can see the clothes that we saw upstairs, I've put on the back wall here. So H&M have released recently a new range of clothing that is all made from sustainable materials. And we got hold of images of this range before it was due for release so that we could recreate it, or some of the items, in Animal Crossing as a little sneak peek of things to come. So when the island was actually launched, these garments weren't available to buy, but they were available quite shortly afterwards. And so our, again, very talented pixel artist Jason took some of the images of the range and recreated them in game. And just, oh my god, these t-shirts, these colourful t-shirts are so good. They look just like the real article. If I'm able to show you images of those garments, I will do so here so that you can see them. But if not, damn, because I tell you, they looked really good. They're really good, really, really good. And finally, in Loop Manor, certainly not least, is Maisie Williams' apartment, which she had input in helping me create. And here it is. This is Maisie Williams' apartment. There's so much happening in this room. There was so much design thought and aspects that went into this room, I can't even tell you. And there's been a couple of iterations as well, because Maisie did want a few bits changed, so I changed them up. But there's quite a lot taken into consideration with this space. While initially having an apartment for Maisie on this island was my idea, knowing that she would be visiting the island, and I thought it'd be nice for her to have somewhere to come and relax on her downtime. We ended up putting in quite a lot of work into this room, and so much fed into it. It was actually quite incredible. One of the first things that fed into this was the space that Maisie Williams is in during the ad campaign. You'll notice that she is in a bedroom, and I've tried to recreate aspects of that room right here. So we've got the bed, and I've tried to make it so we can see in the ad campaign that there was a PC screen in the background on a desk and stuff like that, and some shelves where she's lying on the bed, and I've tried to create that same sort of look here. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. And using a lot of their documentation that they had for the set of making that advert, I found the best in-game equivalents of what I could to put into this apartment to sort of try and match that set as best I could. Yeah, so that was a bit nuts. But like this stall is, you can see it there as a bedside table when she's on the bed. And I even did have the fragrance, the green air fragrance item from Animal Crossing on here, which looked just like it. But Maisie asked me to remove it, so so it went. But it was there. It did exist. It was absolutely incredible. That to be able to take on those sorts of details, and the clock as well. There's a very similar clock. So that was a lot of fun, creative process. And this rug as well was on the floor there. So this is actually a custom design that I made to try and recreate that rug as best I could. And then there was like this sort of coloured rug next to her bed. So yeah, did the best that I could to recreate it. For the images on the wall, which actually proved to be quite popular, and we need to see if we can release the custom codes for these, because lots of people asked for some of these pictures that are on the wall. These are pictures that I did actually create myself in game, but I found pictures in real life that I could then recreate in game to put on the wall. And so that's what I did here, including this one up here, which we can see a picture of Maisie standing in front of. So I tried to recreate these pictures in game.
How did you get an apartment in H&M Manor?
Well, I know someone who knows someone who knows someone, and they got me a nice little penthouse here. It's just for all the innovation that I'm helping them do. This is where I need to sleep after all the hours and hours of innovation. This little orange art up here is copied from a piece of art that was in my apartment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then, I love these posters. These posters are wicked. I could stay up here for hours, chill, but we've got a lot to see.
We have a nice little seating area here. Maisie's was very keen to have mint green walls, and I noticed that in her house on her island she uses this very wallpaper, so that's why we have that wallpaper. And she also likes to have quite a lot of white calming, and of course the Switch, because she does have a Switch. Obviously she plays Animal Crossing like the rest of us. I mean, we all play Animal Crossing, don't we? Who doesn't play Animal Crossing? Maisie also has this gold kettle in her Animal Crossing house, and she also has the steam basket, so enjoy. I did get to spend some time in Maisie's house on Animal Crossing, so it was nice to be able to bring some of the items that she enjoys in Animal Crossing into her apartment here on Looop Isle. Back outside in the bright sunshine where we have a restaurant. H&M are very keen to have a restaurant on the island. And they actually seem to really enjoy sort of these living restaurants, if we can see pictures from the internet of restaurants with plants growing up the wall and that sort of stuff. And they really enjoyed furnitures made out of natural materials and this sort of business. So I thought it would be best, because initially the idea was to put it inside Loop Manor, but I actually thought, let's bring it outside. We want it to feel very green, very naturey, very... Naturey? Is that a word? It is now. Lots of plants, So I thought, let's build it outside. And then, it can have a bit of natural movement about it. Natural light. And just more fun. I just thought it would be more fun. And they didn't say they wanted a fish tank. I put in the fish tank because... I really like it, and as you can see, there's not even really room for it. There's not even really room for it, but I really wanted it. Look, it's a fish tank. It's a fish tank, everybody, and I think it looks great. Put purple flowers on the tables, and you can see our pixel artist is at it again with glasses and bottles on the shelves behind the bar, and also we've got our trellises and plants growing up the wall there. So that was absolutely fantastic. We put in this lamp. I think these lamps are so incredibly tacky. But Lauren loves these lamps for that very reason. and she said we simply must have one of those lamps. So here it is, everybody. Here it is, the tacky palm tree lamp. And it does fit. It fits. It works for the area. You got to love it. And Lauren also sent this purple shell table because, my God, how perfect is the shell furniture in purple? It's amazing. I had to use it, so I created a couple of shell stools to go with it, and we have this lovely little area here. Now, we used to also have some purple flowers kicking around here, but the island was open to the public for a week, and they can be a little bit destructive. I mean, it's the nicest way I can put it. A little bit destructive. And they picked all these flowers. They picked them. They kept picking all the purple flowers. I think there was quite a lot of players thought that if they picked the purple flowers, they'd be able to take them home and plant them, and then have their own purple flowers. But of course, that's not true at all. And while I can grow the flowers back on the main part of the island, I can't grow them back on the beach. So sad face, sad times. We lost purple flowers on the beach, so we don't have as much purple as we used to on the beach. No. I also have a purple fountain back here. Yeah, a little purple fountain. So H&M were keen to have nice areas of the island that didn't really do anything at all, but rather were just places where you could come and sit and enjoy the atmos of Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing's lovely, and it's nice to just listen to the sounds of Animal Crossing. I do it all the time. I'm pretty sure we could have... Is there Animal Crossing ASMR out there? I'm sure there is, because it's definitely worthy. The animals. It's like they follow me around. I mean, just listen to the beach. It's not exactly appropriate shoe wear for the beach, but there we are. I'm sort of... My heels are sinking into the sand as I walk around. Stunted palm trees. I think they are so cute. Look at them. I had to stunt some palm trees because they are just the cutest things ever. They're just so cute. Now, as we leave town, we head into the animal village. Now, the whole idea of the animal village, in my mind, was that we moved away from sustainable energy and more into what we can do as individuals in sustainable living, So in Animal Crossing, to me, that was very much growing our own crops. Because we can grow our pumpkins now, right? So we have lovely pumpkin patches where the animals are growing all of their own crops. Self-sustainability. And also, we've tried to pick out houses that have purple elements in them as well. So not only purple animals, but the purple animals that had purple in their houses. Most of them just have purple roofs. But like this house back here, look. look, it's actually purple. It's a purple bleeding house. So I had to have it. And there's also no hoses on this island. All the water comes from wells and also these hand pumps as well. So even the way that they source their water was very important, I felt, for them to water all of their crops. And we've got lots of greenhouses as well. And these harvest lamps, because I love these harvest lamps. So people keep lamps in their greenhouse, don't question me. Recycling bins as well. Big feature around the islands. Very important that all the animals recycle. I want all the animals recycling. All right, this is a message from your mayor. Recycle. Up here we have a lighthouse. Yes, because that's the standard thing you do, isn't it? With this outcropping on Animal Crossing, you stick a lighthouse on it, and when you have a lovely red and white lighthouse, well, yeah. That's what isn't that what you do? It's like an Animal Crossing standard. I had to have it. Actually, on my Animal Crossing island, this little outcropping for ages was actually my garden, and I had my house sort of over here, similar to this house, I suppose. And then I made this my garden so I could relax with sea sounds. But here we've gone for lighthouse. Yes. Also, this neighbour has a ladder because he's very naughty. He's a very naughty neighbour. He likes to climb his ladder and look over the fence at his neighbour. Yep, spies on his neighbour. That's exactly what he does. Lauren likes to think that he spies on his neighbour to make sure that the neighbour is recycling, because we're all supposed to be recycling here. He's making sure that he's doing the recycling. I'm not so sure myself. I'm not so sure. No. Another purple house. Look at that, another purple house. With some more crop growing. Over here we can see we've got beekeeping hives. So they are producing honey for the islanders, which I think is lovely. And we've got lots of red and white flowers for the bees to go to create their honey. Very important. More crops. We also have lots of bird baths and bird houses. I had to use these spooky fencing as wrought iron gates to close up these gardens because, again, players kept nicking everything out of the gardens. So I had to close it up. Yeah, sorry. So we can't actually go and there is actually things deeper into these gardens that we can't see. So sorry about that. So restrict. I suppose. Oh no, I can't. I was about to say I could go in there and show you, but I'm visiting this island and the restrictions. I mean, this is one of the nightmares, isn't it, with Animal Crossing when you're trying to build on it. As soon as you open the gate for Blarla to come over, and she would come here and craft all the items, I then couldn't have Pascal put the items down and design and see if I needed more of the items. Oh my god, it was a nightmare. Blarla did an awful lot of Nook miles flying, which I'm pretty sure isn't very sustainable, but there we are. So here we are at Punchy's house. Probably one of the most important houses on the island. Oh my god, he's in as well. He's actually in. So Punchy loves fish, yes, and he loves insects. So we've got some insects here. But he's also not really a big gardener, as you know. So we've got some weeds. Got some weeds kicking around. Just lots of weeds, basically. No real pretty flowers. Some catnip. I guess that works. But we've also given him a little fishing area. I actually built this pond purely for Punchy. This is a Punchy pond where he can come and do a little fishing. Yeah, that's right. And here we also have Diva. Yeah, so Diva, I don't know if you've ever been inside Diva's house, but it's very Egyptian themed. So I thought, you know what, we have to give her the Tut helmet. And she also she's got such a large garden that she's growing crops and has the bees as well. She has it all over here. She has it all. Now here is our orchard. I had so much fun building the orchard. And I'm definitely going to be building an orchard on my island because, of course, my island in Animal Crossing is an absolute pigsty. I have spent so much time building this island that I haven't had the opportunity to build my own. So yeah, but I will be doing an orchard on my Animal Crossing island. We have the little trees and stuff back here. And look, people kept shaking. The fruit kept being stolen constantly. So You can see fruit has been dropped here and there, but I keep growing it back, we got bird houses and the well, beehives. Look, and I've made it as well. There's quite a lot of restrictions on this island, so I've made it so that you can't go anywhere I don't want you to go. So I don't want you to go across this river. So there's absolutely no way of jumping over there, because you can see I've dropped acorns and mushrooms and things back there, and I've done that to decorate the island all over the place. And I knew that people would try and pick things up and take stuff, so knowing that it was going to be open to the public for 8-9 hours every day for the period of a week or so, these things had to be taken into consideration, along with another request, which was on the map. You'll note there's this whole section down here. This is actually blocked off. There is no way to get to that part of the island. And again, to actually block off a whole section of the island, especially when people can get in the ocean and swim to the beach, was a lot of figuring out. It was actually really complicated to do that, but I did manage to do it, and this is part of that, sort of restricting where you can and can't go in the island. You'll see it gets a bit more crazy as it goes on. Look, we've even got like little star fragments. Can you see that? Little dropped star fragments as well. And obviously I'm not going to want people to take them. So here we go. On with the tour then. So that's a little bit of a dead end, the orchard. And what's nice about the orchard is it sort of caps off the self-sustainability aspect into local sourcing of food, and organic food and that sort of business. So we have a market back in town. So the animals grow not only food for them, but surplus food that they can then sell back in town, which we'll see later. But I love all these sorts of ideas in Animal Crossing. So I was very keen to have these elements on the island. So we have the campsite here. Nobody's visiting today, sad times. But we do have a small campsite here, where we can start to enjoy the fruits of our labour. The idea being that as we move through what we can do on a larger scale in town with renewable energies, and we go through what we can do as individuals, we are then looking after the planet, right? We're looking after the planet so that it can be better and healthier. And so we start heading into more nature aspects of the island, starting with the campsite. So this is where we can come and visit and enjoy the fruits of our labour and see all the pretty things and beautiful views and blue seas. Oh my god, yes. However, it goes deeper. So H&M were very keen to have what they refer to as a glowing forest on their island, and I found it quite challenging to work out how a glowing forest was going to work with the theme of the island. But it turns out that it worked perfectly with the idea of moving into the future and seeing what our future could be if we do more to look after the planet. And so the glowing forest has become a sort of fantasy place where we can imagine just how beautiful the planet could be if we look after things today. So what I've done is I've actually done an incline, and then we actually jump into the glowing forest because we're no longer in the present, right? Just go with it, all right? Just go with it. The idea is we're now seeing the future, dreaming about what it could be like if we looked after things, all right? All right, just like I say, just go with it. Oh, and also the best time to view this forest is actually at dusk. So let's just change the time of day. Ah, it's so pretty and glowing. Look at it, it's beautiful. Now, we can head down here. Not many people came down here, but you can see that I've made lots of little rings. So in the water here, we've got a little ring of Nova lamps over here, purple Nova lamps, which I think is really lovely. And we've got lots of these purple hyacinth lamps because they're gorgeous, and lots of the hyacinths. I took desperate care to put down these weeds as well, alternating along the path just to help decorate it a little bit more. Again, when people were visiting, they kept pulling up these weeds and I had to keep placing them back down. Sad times. To try and get the weed that you want is very difficult. It can take an awful lot of picking up and putting it back down and picking it up and put it back down again. Ugh, the pains that you go through for art. And then over here, we have the city of the future. Look, I did my best, all right? Look, I did my best, right? So in the campaign video, you can see Maisie in the future. And they were very keen to try and find a way of representing this city of the future in Animal Crossing, which again was another very difficult thing. And I really wasn't sure what to do. So I focused on some of the details in the picture, and you can see that there's a lot of vegetation, of course, and water. But also these dome buildings. I spotted these dome buildings and thought, you know what, I can actually recreate those in Animal Crossing, sort of. And what we have done here is we've used the mushrooms, the autumn mushrooms, and I've tried to make them look like dome buildings in the distance, right? And using the Bosco building in real life, I've tried to use that as inspiration to make skyscrapers with the balconies and the plants growing all over them. You can kind of see where I was going with it, right? Please tell me you can see it. You can see it, right? Oh my God, it was so difficult. I really wasn't sure. Anyway, let's move on. Now, I also enjoy the hopping thing, so I recreated yet another loop in the water where we can jump around. There was actually this lovely moment when Maisie was on the island with lots of content creators. Again, I don't think I'm able to show you any footage of it. I'll see if I can. But Maisie was jumping around these little islands, and everybody was following her, and it was like a little train of people hopping around. It looked amazing. It was so sweet. I really enjoyed it. So we come over to here. Now we can head up this way. There's a nice little spot where we can just sit and enjoy the forest. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? But I've made another little area where we can sit using the lovely moon. Look at it. Isn't it nice? I love it. I love this moon. This is one of my favourite Celeste items in the game, I think, really. And I felt an absolute need to use it, like I did with the Nova lamps. So nobody said, hey, can we have a moon? I was just like, hey, let's put a moon in because I like it. That's right. I also like the time of year that we have the island, so that the hydrangeas were in bloom. But it also means we've got these lovely glow bugs just flying around the glowing forest. Oh my God, I love it. This is one of my favourite places on the island. And we hop over here, and I think in the glowing forest this is my favourite area of the glowing forest. Right here, you can bring the camera down and just look at it. It's so pretty. Oh my God, I love it so much. I was so pleased with it. And then over here we have, of course, a gong. I built this gong purely for Chase Crossing. So if you're an Animal Crossing player and lover, which I'm sure you are, if you're still watching at this point, then you know exactly who Chase Crossing is. And when he came and visited the island, he certainly did spot and enjoy the gong.
And we continue on further, and that's a gong. Oh yeah, that's a gong. I'm gonna get my hits in. Oh my goodness. I completely forgot that Blarla said there was a little Easter egg for me on the island, and there it is. There's the gong. I can't help but hit it. You know, I love it whenever I go to islands. All the creators that invite me to go tour their islands put a little gong for me, and I think it's just the sweetest. They're thinking of me.
So that I was really pleased about that, because I did get the opportunity to give Chase a tour around the island, which was super exciting. And there we are. That is the end of the glowing forest. So what we do at the end of the glowing forest is we then jump out of the glowing forest and we come back to reality, or Animal Crossing reality. So we leave the future and we're back into the present. All right, just go with it. Just go with it. All right, just go with it. Also, I donated one of my Stonehenges. I had a spare Stonehenge, and you know, it's a circle. Right, it's a circle, and I love Stonehenge, and it's mysterious. I just thought it worked. So I've put it on the restricted side of the island. This over here is the side of the island that nobody can get to. But there are, of course, moments where you can kind of see over into bits of it. So I use this opportunity here to put the Stonehenge in. So then we can come down here, And all we have down here is a little walkway to bring us back to town. And I was very careful when designing this. One, to stop players from being able to climb up here because, of course, the restricted area on the other side. So we can see it a little bit. So I've put purple pansies back there. But it is mostly barren over there. And I've done like little fairy rings with pansies over there and stuff like that. Not that you can really see it, but there we are. And I've kept aspects of the beginning of the journey, very much like the glowing forest you can see with the Nova lamps. But as we start to walk back towards town, we start to lose the Nova lamps. The pathing starts to change again, all in circles, like little circle pathing. And we get the wind turbines as we come back into town, and we end our tour, or close the loop, at the museum. Here it is. Here's our museum. And I thought, again, this was just my idea. It wasn't something that was requested by H&M at all. But I just thought it would be really nice to close the loop or end our tour at the museum, because, of course, if we look after the planet, all the beautiful living things that live on the planet survive too, and not just survive but thrive. My personal favourite being bees. Did you know that without the bees the planet would only last 4 years, and we've already lost 1/3 of the bee population? So it's a really important thing for me that we love and look after the bees. During this summer, what you can do to help the bees is put a teaspoon in your gardens, maybe put a couple of them out there, with sugar and water in, and it helps the bees that are very tired and dehydrated regain their energy and survive. So that's a small thing that you can do to help the bees, because we can't all keep beehives, let's be honest. And so I also managed to get hold of the thinker statue here. This is genuine. This is a genuine. This is not a fake. This is a genuine one. And I thought it was nice because it's a good place to reflect on the future and the important messages being said. That's it. Yes, that's the whole reason that's here. And so here we are back in town. There are a couple of more bits to go over. One being, of course, the market, where they sell all of their fruits and vegetables that they grow here on the island, so that we can all enjoy locally sourced organic grubs, which is the best kind of grubs. Also, Punchy's fish market, which has no place being here. It's just here because I love Punchy, and everyone just has to deal with it. Everyone just has to simply deal with that. I get to build the island, therefore Punchy has a fish market. That's just the way that it works, right? Over this way, we have also bikes. It's the only way you're allowed to travel on the island other than foot. We have a little cafe. I made a little cafe. Do you like it? Where we can grind our beans and sit down and have a little cuppa. Yes, and enjoy the wind farm. Which frankly just gets in the way of the beautiful view. I actually love the wind turbines, and I'm going to be having them on my island. There's something really calming about the wind turbines. I love them. So really great to have them. We've got lots of wind turbines up there. Indeed we do. And again, look at the pixel art of the little sacks of coffee beans back there that our Jason did. Isn't it great? Isn't it amazing? And back here we have the town hall. So not a lot going on back here, apart from aptly, look who's visiting. all right, label. So now we also have the notice board, and H&M were very keen for the notice board to be open for people to come and leave messages, and my god did they. Let's have a look. So first of all, H&M wanted us to leave some messages here. So we have their messages. Let's change fashion. Our goal is for all H&M materials to be recycled or sourced more sustainably by 2030, which is fantastic. Let's hope they do it. I'm up for anything that they can do. Fast fashion being pretty ugly for the planet. I would really like to see this happen. I'm going to be watching them like a hawk. for the next 9 years. And so should everybody else. Let's watch them and let's make this happen. We need to start sending all of our clothes we no longer want to H&M so they can shove it in their loop machine, because that's ultimately what they're after. They want people to go into H&M stores and give back their unwanted and no longer used garments, so that they can then start using their loop machine to start making new garments from old. So that's part of the process to help them close the loop and make things just a little bit more sustainable. So an admirable goal, and I would like to see it. Help us work towards a better fashion future. Together we can close the loop. And so that's that part of the aspect. And join the recycling revolution. Drop your unwanted piece of clothing by the loop machine and pick up our exclusive H&M outfit from Able Sisters, so that you can enjoy the digital version, which, given that a lot of this has been happening over lockdown, enjoying a digital version of it was the best that we could do for now. But as soon as you can start giving them your clothes, let's do it. Let's inundate them with their old clothes and have them recycle them into new garments. I think that'd be absolutely fantastic. Let's do it. And then we've got messages from just so many people. They're amazing. Starting here, look, one from Chase Crossing. I love Loop Island, and I love that he spelled love with 3 O's, because loop, they've spelled loop with 3 O's. And look, he's put crossing with 3 O's. Thanks so much for the exclusive tour. Very dynamic. Oh yeah, that's the Chase Crossing buzzword. Look, and we've got many other influencers here. You may recognize some of them. Mini Moly, Super Sweet Island. I love the concept and the loop machine. Oh yes, and NNE came over. Oh my god, love the island, so wonderfully done. Thank you. Katie from Callow Cove. She did a fantastic tour of this island on her channel. You simply must check it out. Sustainability will save the planet. Here. Thanks for doing your part, H&M. Absolutely. We have Christine. Christine did some amazing things with this island, with her community, and I have to share it with you. One of them being that she was very keen for players to come to this island and experience it for themselves. So she created this fantastic picture of Pascal, being that the owner of the island is called Pascal, but also there's a Pascal in game. So she drew a picture of Pascal holding a clam. And then she asked her community to come along to the island and then tweet back at her what she had left on the notice board, so they could prove to her that they had been and visited. The dream address will be in the description below, but it'll also be on screen at the end of the episode. Pink Squad! That was one of the best streams. Pinky stream was absolutely fantastic, and she brought some friends with her as well, and they've left fantastic messages here. And then we also just had a paw. And then we just had so many members of the public come and visit the island while it was live. Look, Bee from Sunshiny, save the bees. Absolutely, let's save the bees. And these messages are amazing. Recycling is the future. I love Loop Island. It's so beautiful. Love on you all. Kiss from France. Thank you, Benji. Look, our very own Lauren Carter left a message. Team Loop. For life, I know. Love LC of LC. That's Liquid Crimson. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So here we are. Look, the history of the textile industry is fascinating for me. Today, H&M is a part of it with this initiative. So thank you. Make it work. Absolutely, make it work. So it was really, really great seeing those messages go up on the board. It was just really, really amazing. Really, really amazing. And then we have, of course, the Nook Store, Nook's Cranny. Love it. Giving them a little alley back here and croissant stand. I think it's actually fortune cookies, isn't it? And then this red telephone box, because Liquid Crimson we're an English team. We worked together really hard on this island. It did take a team of people to make this island. While I was the one that physically built the island, we also had a streamer, Joe R247, who actually did the resource gathering almost in its entirety for this island. And by that I mean that Joe collected all the rock, the clay, the gold, he grew 90% of the purple flowers that you see on this island, of which there is around 700 flowers on this island, and he grew about 90% of them, which is just absolutely incredible. His days for a while were spent chopping wood on trees, bashing all the rocks, watering all the flowers, skipping to the next day, chopping all the trees, bashing all the rocks, watering all the flowers. Like, it must have been an incredibly repetitive process. And then him and other members of the team, like Lauren and Taya, would run over to this island and drop off all the resources. And this is where the blocked off island, part of the island, was used excessively. So we've got an unbuilt bridge here, and we've made it so people can't donate to it, so that should we ever want to expand over onto that side of the island, we will be able to do it. And while I can't show you the area, that this butterfly, seriously, what does he want? What? Get off my nose! It tickles. Oh my god, this butterfly is obsessed. So while I can't show you that part of the island, it is pretty barren, and we did use it very much as a drop-off area. In fact, you can see, if we look at the map here, on the south, this is a sandy area down here, and this is where most of the materials was dropped off. And then the higher area all along here was just covered in all the bushes and flowers and trees that the team, and mostly Joe, grew. It just spread all over there, so that I could then incorporate them into the island. It was a little bit overwhelming, the amount of stuff that was dropped here to be placed around the island. It was just incredible. Yeah, just absolutely nuts. Now then, there is a couple of secrets hidden about the island, and one of them requires a little swim. Now, typically, I didn't bring my swimsuit. Do you have one, Pascal? Could you drop me one? Let's see. Does he? He does have one. Okay, excellent. Well done. Drop that. Amazing. Thank you, Pascal. Thank you. That's it. Go and stand over there. Out the way. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. Now we're going to look a little bit weird. Let's do it. Where? Excellent. Looking amazing. Let's get in the water. So you'll note as we swim around here how I've been blocking off the beaches so that you can't get to the restricted areas. So you can get onto the beach in some of the locations, and you can see over there that it's pretty barren. It's pretty barren over there. But I have tried to hide it somewhat. There is a little bit of bamboo. But it's built over there so that it looks good on the map, essentially. That's all that's happening over there. In reality, it looks quite weird. Oh, and I've also buried all of the fossils over there so that they don't spawn around the island. I've done that too. Here we are. So this is a private beach, especially for Maisie Williams. Now, if you go to the dream version of this island, you will see Maisie Williams's avatar walking around this area. But of course, she can't be with us live. But here's her tent, and I built a little tent for her. And it's like a little extra getaway spot, you know. She can come and read a book, lie down. It's just relaxing. Just enjoy herself. Write in her diary. I don't know if she keeps a diary. She does now. Relax in a nice natural spring. Do a spot of fishing. Catch and release. Only Punchy has the license around here for fishing, don't you know? Now let's swim back to the main island. But yeah, you can swim around the entire island, and it's all blocked off in a similar manner, apart from areas where I'm happy for people to visit. And because some of the beaches are open, they absolutely are. There's one of those kid tents from the Christmas items is hidden away on another one of the beaches as well that you can only get to by swimming. So there are bits hidden about the place. But let's come back here. Oh, that's it. Lovely. Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Let's take this off, shall we? Let's take this off. Excellent. And let's drop that. We'll give that back to Pascal. Excellent. Now, the only other secret that we have over here was something I was very keen to have a go at trying. So in the campaign video, we see Maisie go into like a loophole, and she travels through some sort of purple shiny vortex, and she ends up in the future. So what I wanted to do was try my best to recreate this sort of vortex within Animal Crossing. I know, I'm insane. Like the challenge wasn't hard enough with Cities of the Future and building loop machines. I decided I was going to build a vortex. I'm absolutely nuts. I thought it would be nice for players to have an experience where they go from the real world, they travel through the vortex and end up in Animal Crossing. All right, just go with it. All right, just look, humor me. So I used the very awesome Mario pipes as the warp part, as the warp process. And here we are. What do you think? Here it is. This was the best that I could do, guys. So this is you can see here the squiggly effects of the warp. Now the only problem is we can't put the record boxes right next to each other, but that is a full circle design, courtesy of our very own and very talented Jason. Because there's no way I could have done that. Absolutely no way. Yeah. So here it is. This is my version in Animal Crossing of the vortex. What do you think? I was pretty pleased with it. I'm really pleased with it. I thought it came out pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then we can travel back through the warp pipe. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And here we are in the world of Animal Crossing. Yes, we can jump across here. We can jump across here. I made it so we can jump. Don't do this. No, you can jump over there. You can jump. I did. I designed, look, you can see it's small enough to jump. She's not doing it. Okay, well, we'll go the long way around then. That happens sometimes with warp pipe. You know, what do you want me to do? So here we are. There it is. Looop Isle. And once it was built, I'll put some stats on the screen as well. Of what it took to build Looop Isle. But not only did we have the official Liquid Crimson team with Joe R247, we also had a very small group pulled together from Animal Crossing players, many of them actually from my community. I have some extremely dedicated Animal Crossing players in my community. I'll put their names on the screen, and they all helped me source items that I wanted to get hold of that I needed for the island, or if I couldn't craft particular recipes, they were kind enough to do so. And between this team of people of just absolute huge Animal Crossing fans, we were able to source everything that we needed for the island when Blarla here fell short, because, you know, while Blarla has an awful lot of stuff, she doesn't have everything, you know. So it took quite a lot of peeps to put this one together. Indeed. So yes, after the island was built, it was time to release it to the public, and I cannot tell you how incredible that process was. I spent a day in London at the television studio with our Liquid Crimson team, but also Maisie Williams. I actually got to meet and spend the entire day with Maisie Williams, which was surreal, shall we say. And the reason that Maisie was there is that she was doing an interview with IGN. She took IGN on a tour of Looop Isle. She took many members of the public around the island as well. She was also on the island live for the public to come and visit as well, so that they could all run around Looop Isle and go on a tour with her. So that was absolutely incredible. And my job for the day was basically to keep the switches working and all connected. So I had to keep Looop Isle open, because that's a console that I have here with me now. I took to London with me that day. Maisie bought her Switch so that her characters could travel over to Looop Isle. And then, of course, we needed to make sure that everybody visiting Looop Isle, so that they could spend time with Maisie, were able to do so. We could get all the codes to them, and while I wasn't the one personally sending the codes to everybody, I was, of course, the one creating the codes. And anybody who spends any time with Animal Crossing knows that the online connectivity and playing online with people on Animal Crossing is no walk in the park. So there were a lot of problems with keeping consoles connected and online and getting everybody to the same island. But we absolutely did it, and I helped keep the consoles running as smoothly as possible and generating all of the codes and making sure that Maisie had everything that she needed on the island. And during that day, our very own Lauren Carter even got to interview Maisie Williams, which was absolutely fantastic. And I got to sit on a sofa just behind the camera with everybody else on the team and watch Lauren be absolutely thoroughly entertaining and just be a complete pro interviewing Maisie Williams. You know, what a daunting task. I don't think I would have been able to do it, but Lauren absolutely nailed it. Publications of this island were even in Vogue. I can't believe that I put together pictures for Vogue. Which is extremely surreal for me because I am not a fashion person. I have zero interest in clothes, really. I'm an Animal Crossing player. I am a gamer. I am a content creator through and through. So to have something that I worked on in Vogue is very, very bizarre and strange and weird, but amazing at the same time. Now, I suspect this has been quite a long video, but I'd like to say a huge thank you to anyone who is still here, who is still watching. I have put in an enormous amount of work into this island during the first quarter of 2021, and it did mean that there were times where there was no content on my channel. And for that, I am so very, very sorry. But I'm hoping you can finally see why I was absent here and there throughout the process. It's just been an incredible journey, and I absolutely wanted to document it in a video and share it on my channel for anybody interested. But that's it for now. Be seeing you, peeps. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you to all my Patreons for their continued support.